Hey y'all! Welcome back to the next episode of the Passport Project Read Aloud. I'm Kellie McIntyre, author of the Passport Project. Today we will be traveling from Thailand to their next door neighbor to the south, Malaysia. I will be reading selections from chapter 14, Finding Our People. Delaney, 14. Do we have to go inside? Riley whines as we stand outside the Islamic Arts Museum. It sounds so boring. You can't visit Malaysia and not learn something about Islam, Mom says. After an hour in the not-so-boring museum, we head to KL's most Insta-famous building, the Petronas Towers. After taking selfies in front of the twin skyscrapers, we grab some lunch. You know what I'd kill for right now? I ask while finishing my millionth dish of chicken fried rice. What? Riley says as we walk to the KL Central train station. Chicken minis. Oh, me too, Mom and Riley say as we enter the train terminal. A Chick-fil-A sandwich would be so good right now, Dad agrees. If I lived here, I'd open a Chick-fil-A. I'd be rich, Riley says. People smush together in the terminal with the same goal, to snag a spot on a crowded train car. We join the mob and wait for our train to the Batu Caves. About 10 minutes later, we hear the train roaring toward us. People shove their way to the front of the platform. Getting onto crowded trains is always dicey. What if one of us doesn't make it on and we get separated? Look down there! Riley points down the platform to a handful of people calmly entering a nearly vacant train car. Let's go to that one. We race down the platform, jumping into the train car as the door closes behind my dad. Score! There are plenty of empty seats. We take 4 together. People stare at us, but we're used to it. Good eye, Rye, Mom says. What is wrong with those people? How did they miss this empty car? Dad says. For real, we're tourists and we figured it out, Mom agrees. While they're high-fiving each other, I notice the sign, the pink sign, the very important pink sign that stretches across most of the train car. Coach for ladies only. Holy moly, what have we done? This is bad, very bad. Muslims have very strict segregation policies for men and women. My dad sitting in a female-only train car in Malaysia is worse than bad. It's disastrous. I elbow my mom. Ow! She doesn't look up from the pamphlet she's reading. I elbow her harder. What? She says, turning toward me. I flick my eyes toward the sign. Oh my gosh. She jerks her head toward Dad. You're not supposed to be here. Once again, all eyes are on us. But this time, we don't have to guess why the women are staring. We jump up, gushing apologies in English. We can't think of sorry or any other words in Malay. We hope they understand. The train is moving, but we have to get out of this car. Now. We pull apart the doors like I've seen in the movies. The ground races below. We open the doors to the next compartment and force our way in. Everyone stares at the white man who just entered from the female-only car. I hold my breath. But no one says a word, and no one takes him away in handcuffs or with a pillowcase over his head. Riley, 12. Well, that was awkward. 30 minutes later, we exit the train station in search of the Batu Caves. It's easy to spot. A shiny gold statue the size of the Statue of Liberty, minus her pedestal, guards the entrance. Delaney looks up from the guidebook. That's the Hindu god Murugan. This is the largest Hindu statue in Malaysia and one of the most important Hindu shrines outside of India. Even though it's drizzling, this is the perfect place to get a twirling video. Standing in front of Lord Murugan in the cave entrance, I start my routine. I haven't twirled in a while and I'm a little rusty. I begin with easy tosses and catches. After some twirls, it's time for my grand finale. I fling my baton as hard as I can. Whoops. The wet baton slips, flying toward a baby in a stroller. Watch out! I scream at the family. I don't think they speak English, but a screaming girl gets your attention in any language. The shiny baton lands inches from the stroller. I run to them. I'm sorry. I pick up my baton lying next to the stroller's front wheel. They can tell I feel awful and are super nice considering I almost clobbered their baby. This isn't our day. I put my baton away and we climb the steps to the cave's entrance. Good grief! Mom stops midway. How many steps are there? 272, according to the guidebook, Delaney says. You know what would be awesome? A chairlift, like at the ski slopes. We finally make it to the top and enter the Batu Caves. Whoa, no ding-dong statues here. This Hindu temple cave has brass railings, an altar, and fancy wooden doors. Colorful Hindu gods watch visitors from a ledge above. A shirtless Hindu priest wears a white sheet tied around his waist. For a donation, we can receive a blessing. Sign me up. After the day we've had, we could use one. With incense and candles burning, the priest chants some Hindu stuff. Using his thumb, he smears a white dash and a red dot on my forehead. I hope it works. Delaney, 14. Auburn won the Iron Bowl, I yell, waking the family. It's Sunday morning in Malaysia, but it's still Saturday night in Alabama. For football fans, Alabama's annual Iron Bowl is the biggest event of the year. Be quiet. Riley buries her head under the covers. I threw up all night. What and what? Dad looks at me, then at Rye. Hang on, Dell. We'll get to that in a second. Mom turns to Dad. Riley had an awful stomachache all night. She threw up a few times. I went to the front desk in the middle of the night and they gave her some charcoal tablets. Charcoal? Dad asks. Yeah, but they seem to work. Mom says, then pivots toward me. How do you know about the Iron Bowl? I've been texting with Joey for the past hour. He's giving me the play-by-play. The game was tied with 1 second left. Bama missed a field goal, and Auburn caught it and ran 100 yards and scored. I dig through my suitcase, hunting for my dress. They're calling it the kick six. Sounds like the kick sick to me. I'm glad I missed that one, Dad says, disappointed for his alma mater. Riley, you feel like going to church? We need to leave at 9:15. Mom zips her dress. I think so. Riley moans a little and sits up. Visiting a new church can be super awkward. Will we be totally ignored? Will it last 3 hours? Will they do something weird, like handle snakes? As we walk to the church, Riley says, what if they make all the visitors stand up? That would be so embarrassing. So we come up with a church visitation survival plan. It involves sitting in the back row in secret hand signals that mean, let's get out of here. We all agree to the plan. When we arrive at the church, we're greeted by Smiley Robert. He enthusiastically shakes our hands and directs us upstairs to the sanctuary. So far, so good. Being ignored won't be a problem. At the top of the stairs, a tiny Malaysian woman welcomes us like we're celebrities. We make church visitor small talk for a few minutes, then turn to make our way to the back row. I'll show you where to sit. The friendly church drill sergeant marches us straight down to the second row. Oh boy. We obediently take our guest of honor seats. I hope there aren't snakes. There's no sneaking out, no matter what. Within seconds, we're surrounded by eager church members on a mission to make us feel welcome. A few minutes later, the service starts with praise music. Some songs we know, others we don't. After the music ends, Riley's tragic prediction comes true. The pastor asks all visitors to stand so we can be properly welcomed. This is so awkward. Church members swarm us again. This time, they point out the other visitors, a black couple from Louisiana and a white family with 2 daughters from Sweden. Finally, some people like us. I can't wait for church to end so we can meet them. Besides the accents, everything about the service feels strangely familiar. The prayer requests, the mission teams, even the corny preacher jokes, which are basically a different version of bad dad jokes. The only difference is how they collect the offering. Instead of passing a brass plate or plastic bucket, they pass a purple velvet bag hanging from silver bars. When the service ends, Mom says, "Let's go talk to our people." "Yeah, I want to meet them too," I say. We make a beeline for Maurice and Aaliyah, the couple from Louisiana, even though they're probably LSU fans. For the first time in 7 weeks, we hang out with people from our part of the world. People who know what the Iron Bowl is and say y'all. We eat lunch together in the church cafe where we bond over the Southeastern Conference college football, craving Milo sweet tea, and all things Southern. It's a family reunion with 2 people we just met. It's the most at home I've felt in 2 months. It's a good day. We just found a little piece of the Southeast United States in the middle of Southeast Asia. Passport lesson number 7. Our country, culture, and interest bond us as humans, not our skin color. Our question from the Malaysia chapter is, when the McIntyres want to talk with our people after the church service, did you think they were referring to the white family with daughters or the black couple? Who did they have more in common with? Why? That is all for our selected readings from Malaysia. I hope you'll read the rest of the chapter on your own. Don't miss the next episode when we'll be traveling to another country in Southeast Asia, Vietnam. Until then, dream big and travel far.